All right, so I haven't set up any crazy fancy lighting or anything for this video. I actually didn't even know where to start with this video because it's February 2024 and I've been pretty quiet. And I wanted to do this video because I'm just starting sort of a semi-new chapter with going to be splitting my time between Durban and Cape Town, between my two families, my Pastor Aaron Munsami and Cares Church, and our foundation, Cares Foundation. You can find out all of those details. Go onto Facebook, search Cares Church, search Cares Foundation. You can go to cares.org.za and go and check out the work that we do. But just a little bit of a backstory before I get into what I actually want to do with you guys today. I went through a very rough 6 weeks. 2024, first of all, is my 10 years in the Lord. I gave my heart to the Lord on the 31st of December at 11:37 p.m. in the evening in a dorm room where I was seeking help at a mission station. And that was 10 years ago, this year, 2024. And it's a little bit weird because when I mention to people that it's, for me, being 10 years in the Lord is a massive deal. You know, it's like I speak to a lot of people and they can't even give me the exact date, time or moment when they gave their heart to the Lord. And if you just say that you're a Christian and you can't give an exact moment, I'm saying to you right now, you need to go and find out why there isn't an exact moment, especially for kids that have grown up in the church. I speak to a lot of them and they say, Vaughan, we've just always been a Christian. It doesn't work like that. You have to choose Jesus in order for him to come into your heart. And this is my heart's cry. And I had this thing that towards the end of last year, 2024 is going to start off with this massive bang. And I wanted to do, my thing was this. I want to do more in this year, 2024, than the last 10 years that I've been a Christian. Now, some people might say to you, depending on who you speak to, that I've done quite a lot. Some people might say, Vaughan, you know, he's useless, he's unreliable, he hasn't really done much, and he's fallen more times than he cares to remember. And yes, I have made mistakes. Yes, am I a sinner? For sure. Do I try to deliberately sin all the time? No. And when I do, I really try and make an effort to change and not do that again. And there's one specific story that I want to speak to you guys about, but that's another video, about this whole journey being brought into completion with my 10 years in the Lord. And I believe my Father in heaven had a hand in this without me even realizing it. I'm only starting to realize it now. But first of all, I just want to say this is not a video for me to be speaking about how people were not around when I needed them, because people have always been around when I need them. I'm just a different cat. First of all, I'm ADHD. And I do want to shine a light on this because living with ADHD, especially the extreme type of ADHD that I've got, which I am extremely hyper and I cannot concentrate for more than 30 seconds and my memory is absolutely up the pole. But I try my best, and through routines and through prayer and the Lord's help and through a bit of counseling from a good friend of mine, Dr. Cindy, who is part of Syra Medical Practitioners, and they've got a practice in Durban, in Pinetown, and they are a family practice, God-centered, two beautiful sisters, Dr. Ronelle and Dr. Cindy, with amazing husbands, Sashin and Wesley, and they are all full-time in the ministry, although they've got their own medical practice. They are pastors' kids, and they've got a legacy, and they've been involved in medicine and family medicine especially for a very, very long time. Not that they're old, Dr. Cindy, Dr. Ronelle, if you're watching this, I'm not saying that you guys are old. I'm pretty sure that we are pretty much as young as each other. So without getting too on, I want to start 2024 getting back online, because I speak a lot about this. And I speak to people about, especially young Christians who have grown up with screens, that Christ needs to be portrayed on their digital platforms. More Christians need to get online and create content and shine a light out there through screens onto the world, because we have got so many people now that are spending so many hours a day on screens. And that'll be another video where I go through stats and explain to you guys why I believe when we talk about the Great Commission and it says go into all nations, and like I always say, if you go and break down what that all nations means in the originals, it's talking about people groups, not specific borders or boundaries or nations or demarcations or cultural divides or anything like that what we want to talk about. It's about people groups and unreached people groups. And I mean, you can just step over the border out of South Africa into Mozambique, and the further north you go into Mozambique, you will find rural areas there, which is not 20,000 miles away. It is just a couple of thousand Ks from where most people stay. You find people that have never even heard of the name of Jesus there. So there are many unreached people groups. For me, one of the biggest unreached people groups is the people group that I like to call the online group. Perfect example, and I'm not going to go through all the social media platforms, is Facebook. I mean, we've got, 2.9 billion people that are on the Facebook platform alone, besides all the others. That is a online, pretty much digital nation, because it's governed by its own rules. It has sort of its own people in charge that make up these rules and punish people for not following those rules, the community guidelines, which are pretty much not really community guidelines. But that does not mean that we should not be using these digital platforms to promote Christ, and to promote Christ through our actions and through the way that we live. The only way we do that is by living as a Christian between Sundays, Monday to Saturday. Being a Christian on a Sunday morning means nothing to God if you're not going out into the streets and fulfilling the mandate of letting people know that Jesus loves them, and that there is a place for them, and that there is an opportunity for forgiveness and for reconciliation and for completeness. Because we know everyone has got that thing inside of them, whether you are professing to be an atheist or an agnostic or a Satanist or a Wicca witch or whatever in between. I'm using extremes for a reason here, to provoke a reaction. But everyone, when they're alone by themselves and they don't have anyone else around them, and they're not pretending to be someone they're not, and they are just themselves by themselves, every person has that thing inside of them that says, why am I here? Where am I going? What is my purpose? Am I really just dust, and do I really only have this short span of 80 years and then nothingness? And we know deep down, because I had this feeling for many, many years when I was away from the faith, there is something more. There is something bigger, there is something greater, and there's no way that I was randomly created over millions of years and became this beautiful being because of Christ being in me as a human by chance. There is a grand design to everything. And even science, the more science progresses, is starting to prove this. And I'm not a big proponent of intelligent design, but I believe that that is going in the right direction, where if we live long enough, science will eventually say, hey, we've actually realized now that everything is created with a design. And whether they recognize that to be the creator or not doesn't matter. We are here to let the people know that it's not some alien civilization that seeded Earth, like a Ridley Scott's movie Prometheus, for example. I'm a movie guy, I love movies. But we are here for a reason. And part of this video is I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to be doing in Cape Town and just show you where I am at the moment. And for me, this facility is filled with history. It is filled with legacy, and it is filled with resource. And that's why I'm here, to help any way that I can with this facility and the resources that we have here. Just to give you an example, the Facebook pages that we run here from this specific facility here in Cape Town that has Literature for Africa, it has Christian Liberty Books, it has Decent Digital Solutions, it has got Frontline Fellowship, it has got a whole lot of ministries that are part of this group on this facility here in Rondebosch in Cape Town, and all Christian businesses, all faith-related businesses, all NPOs and NGOs that want to go out there and show people the love of Jesus. Even though the people involved in these organizations, me in particular, and you can speak to everyone else about their testimonies, none of us are perfect. We've all got horrendous pasts, and we've all made mistakes while we were in the faith, and we've been ridiculed for it and cast out for it. But yet we have moved on, and we've moved on in forgiveness, and true forgiveness and true repentance is about not a 360-degree turn. It's about a 180-degree turn and walking in the opposite direction of where you were before and never going back. We are not here to be the judges, because I believe God's judgment is the only judgment that counts, and I believe his judgment can only be, for lack of a better word, much worse than any kind of judgment we could give onto a person as a human being. When God judges, his judgment is ultimate, it is final, and it will be the final judgment. So at the moment we are living in the dispensation still of grace by faith. And it is because of that grace, because of that faith, because of the blood that was shed on the cross that is covering me, that God can actually look at me and see me as his child. And this is my heart's cry. So like I was saying earlier, I had a rough time. And the only reason I want to speak about this is because it highlights something that a lot of people battle with. And it's often swept under the rug, and it's often dismissed. And our churches are full of this, but it often gets just pushed aside. And people don't understand, and they get the wrong idea. And they don't know how to reach out and help you in your time of need, because it doesn't seem like you need help. And it often seems like you are being the one pulling away and dismissing them and not wanting to be part of a community. And it's like I said, I am ADHD, attention deficit hyper disorder. I have been diagnosed. It's not a fly-by-night thing that just happened. I was unfortunate to live in an area when I was in school back in the early 80s. You weren't diagnosed with anything like this. You were just told that you were naughty and that you were useless and you were not going to amount to anything, and you had a bad attitude because you couldn't sit still, and you used to swear at the teacher because you wanted to get kicked out of class, and you would climb out the windows and jump on your desk and do all sorts of mad things. No one would understand. Unfortunately today we also live in a world where a lot of our kids are being misdiagnosed with ADHD in our schools, because it's being done by a counselor and not by a medical professional, and it's very easy for you to just get a prescription of Ritalin now and give it to your child, which is not the way to go. And this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a genuine diagnosis and a genuine concern that I have, because there are a lot of people that I see, not just with ADHD, but we can talk about neurodivergency, which is a whole host of mental conditions, from autism to ADHD to ADD and everything in between. And like I said, I'm not the medical professional. You can speak to Dr. Cindy and Dr. Ranella about these things. They do all the neurodivergent testing and everything like that. From a godly point of view, they are not there just to throw medication down your throat. They are there to help you through life-changing routines and, if extreme enough, in some cases, medication. But I don't know what happened. I believe that it wasn't just mental for me. I believe it was an attack, because the more people I speak to about this, the more they say to me that, Vaughan, you've got to understand there's a spiritual context to this as well. And I can see that now, because it took a week of prayer and fasting at my church, although I wasn't at any of their meetings, but I joined them for the prayer and fasting from where I was at home, because I had withdrawn completely into myself. And it was when we broke that fast on the Sunday, and again, I didn't go to the church to go and be part of the meal or anything like that. I stayed at home by myself. But the Lord spoke to me in a very deep and profound way, like he hasn't done for many, many, many years. And all I can say is thank you to him for that, for coming down and being with me in that time of darkness. Because just before Christmas last year, 2023, I sort of just, I don't know, I got it into my head that, and the thing is, when I get something into my head, I obsess about it. And I think about it over and over again, and it festers and it grows and it multiplies and it branches off into all these other kinds of dark thoughts. Thank goodness I'm not the type of person who ever thinks about taking my own life, no matter how hard things get. Do I think about not wanting to wake up the next morning? Yes, for sure, because I want all of this just to stop. And sometimes you don't know how to get yourself out of this pattern that you create in your brain. And the more I spent time by myself, the more I withdrew. I mean, it's the first time also in 10 years that I have missed like 8 weeks of church in a row. Although I'm involved with Christian businesses and I'm editing people's sermons and listening to godly stuff all the time, I wasn't doing the fellowship that I'm supposed to be doing, like it says in Acts 2:42. And that was my fault. It's no one else's fault. So in this video, I'm also trying to say to everyone, hey guys, I am sorry for the way I was acting. And I apologize. But why I'm doing this is because I want to shine a light onto what I went through. And I just went into a very dark place. I didn't think that I was worth anything, even though I knew, and this is the craziness, and people who understand, who can relate to this are the ones that I'm trying to talk to right now. Even though you know that you're saved and you are God's child and you've got purpose, you get into this point where it's like, but how do I go further forward? You see, because even if it's not the truth, you develop this truth and perception of reality in your own head through these thought patterns. And you start believing that you are worthless, that you are unreliable, that you are good for nothing, and that you cannot be counted on. And this just spiraled out of control. And it's not like I was living by myself. I'm living with a beautiful young family from our church. And they've just got married. Sharon's got her first baby that is coming on the way. But I felt utterly and totally alone. And the more I withdrew, the more no one really reached out to me. Now, yes, I got a few WhatsApp messages, and yes, people phoned me, but guys, this is what happened to me. I mean, and this is what, I can't explain it, but it's something that happened in my mind. And I sat there watching the phone ring with people trying to contact me, and I just watched it ring. Everything inside of me was saying, pick up the phone and say something, but I couldn't. And I, unfortunately, even though it sounds childish, was looking for someone to kick my front door down, grab me, shake me, throw me on the floor and go, what on earth is your problem? Why are you doing this to yourself? Let's grab you, kicking and screaming, out of the house and take you somewhere to go and see if we can get you out of this dark place that you're in. And even though that's not what's supposed to happen, as an adult, you're supposed to be able to look after yourself and be mature enough to understand these things. But when you have underlying conditions and you suffer with certain things like ADHD, and I count it as a blessing, I don't really count it as a curse, but you have these moments and you need support groups to be around you. And no matter how much everyone says, Vaughan, but you know what, it was you, not us. Yes, for sure. But in my mind, it was them. It was me on my own and everyone else on another planet somewhere, and I couldn't get to them and they couldn't get to me. Needless to say, after praying and fasting for a week, I woke up on the last Sunday of the fast and I said, Lord, Monday, I need to be going down to Cape Town. And I'd already lost huge amounts of money delaying flights and losing my money for the flights because of all this nonsense that was going on and making up excuses. And also, yes, my cats aren't an excuse, but that's another story for another day. I am very attached to my animals. But I couldn't get down to the only other place that I call home in Cape Town compared to my family up at Cares, Pastor Aaron and everyone at Cares Church, Trenton, Flenton, Gabriel, Uncle Clive. If I have to try and remember, Pastor Brian, my favorite pastor. If I have to try and remember to speak about everyone, we'll be here forever. So just know that I've got two families, one here in Cape Town, and I'm talking about ministry families here. We're not talking about certain people or anything like that. We are talking about ministry. And I've always felt an obligation to the ministry here in Cape Town, as much as I feel an obligation to the ministry up in Durban, being part of Cares Church, being part of Cares Foundation, being part of NAL, the National Alliance for Life, and the pro-life movement, and being involved with all of these different facets of God's kingdom. I've always felt an obligation, and I never thought I'd get the opportunity to come back down to Cape Town, but the Lord has worked it in a way where I have. And I've been able to come down here and be an absolute blessing to the ministry in the very small way that I can possibly be, because I don't believe that me alone can make a big change anywhere. But if I can try and help any way that I can with the limited skill set that I've got, I try my best. And my heart is always for the people. As much as it is for cats, it is also for the people. I am mandated for the Great Commission. I don't have to tell cats that Jesus loves them or tell an animal that Jesus loves it. It knows. It's built into it. It doesn't have a choice to sin. It is just created, and hopefully we see all these animals in heaven one day, because I think heaven will be very boring if we've only got people. So where am I going with this? This is an intro video to 2024 really, although it's February. But I had to be in the right place in order to be able to be openly honest with everyone when I start doing these videos. And as you can see, I haven't really worried about too much lighting and everything like that. I'm just sitting here up in the Pioneer recording studio, and that's not Pioneer as in the brand Pioneer. This is as in pioneer, people who push the boundaries, who go and try and do things differently, who go out there and go and break new ground where no one else has been and be the first in their field to do something like that. They are pioneers. Just like the missionaries of old that went and paved the way for modern Christianity. But you'll see more of that when I take you around the facilities. And guys, we have got space here. If you are a young Christian and you're looking to spend time somewhere and be a part of something and help out in any way that you can, we've got ample place to stay. I'm not asking anyone here for a salary. God has blessed me in a way, just like with Paul in the Bible. He was able to take care of himself, and if he wasn't getting support, he would make his own support by providing his own money. That is what I do with Decent Digital Solutions, my little PTY Limited, with me as the sole owner and sole employee. Not a big company by any means, but I try and help out everyone that I possibly can when I can with the skill set that I've got, as limited and as crazy that is with the way I work in my brain with my ADHD. And I'm not going to speak about miracles and why God hasn't instantly healed me from my ADHD, because if I have to tell you my testimony, you will understand that what God has done in my life is already a miracle. The fact that I was able to become a child of God and choose Him is a miracle in itself. So what I would want more after that, knowing now that I'm going to heaven, I don't know. For me, that is the be all and end all. I can be in the cardboard box on the side of the road and be homeless, knowing that if I die tonight, I'm going to heaven. That for me is the greatest miracle. Anything else is secondary. So if it happens or doesn't happen, I don't really care. I use what I have for the good and the benefit of the kingdom. And more than anything now, am I realizing that how God works everything for His good. And yes, that is in scripture for sure, but only when you start seeing it play out in reality and start connecting the dots and realize that those dots were connected by God because no man could possibly connect those dots, do you realize that miracles aren't what we as humans think that they are. The miracle of being chosen and being able to have your heart completely changed by choosing Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, for me in itself is the only and ultimate miracle that we will ever need as people, because we are now assured of our salvation. How urgent are you about going and letting other people know about the urgency of where they need to be going and what they need to be doing as children of God? And for those that are unsaved, are we going out there with the urgency of someone who's about to walk off the edge of a cliff at night because they can't see where they're going? We are going to rugby tackle that person to the ground, and even if we hurt them and they punch us and kick us because they don't understand what's going on, when the sun comes up and they see that cliff face, they are going to be the ones coming to you going, saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's why I like, because I'm involved in social media and the digital space, I like to use this example because we love to friend, unfriend, like, unlike online. It's very easy to do that now. But I'm not in the business of friending you. If I have to unfriend you into heaven, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I would rather unfriend you into heaven than be your friend and send you to a place where you will never experience God's presence again and you'll be completely cut off from your Creator. And that, my friends, is what hell is all about. Forget about the fire. The torment that you will experience by not knowing who your Savior is and being cut off from that presence, for me, is the worst kind of torment. Because now that I know who God is and I've experienced Him and I know His love and I can feel Him inside of me and I can see Him all around me and everything that goes on in the world, whether it's good or bad, His creation cries out. And you know that you are not alone on this planet. Regardless of how many people, you have a Creator, you are special and you are unique in every way, and your Father in heaven knows you as an individual and as a person intimately, better than you will ever know yourself. But I'm going to do this as a different kind of way of letting guys get to know me. I'm going to be doing a series of videos, and these are going to be separate from what I'm doing with ministry videos. But for those that can't see, I have got an extreme amount of scars on my body. And when I say extreme, I'm talking about my entire body is scarred. Somewhere, if you point to somewhere on my body, I'll be able to show you a scar and tell you a story. So I'm going to let you guys get to know me through my scars. And I don't know if I can do it all in one video, but I will try and do it. And I might just cut it up into sections because there are a lot of scars and a lot of stories. But that is how I want you to get to know me. Through my scars. Through the stories of how I got these scars. And then, by seeing that side of me and understanding the stories behind my scars, you will then see how much I have changed as a person from those days. And from how I got those scars. Which have made me the person that I am today. So, that is basically what this video is about. And what we are going to do now is I'm going to switch from mounted cameras and we are going to switch to my cell phone, and I'm going to take you guys on a walk around the premises and show you guys exactly where I am. And then in future videos we'll explain to you the work that we're doing, what we are trying to accomplish in the future, and where am I going from here. And I'm going to try and do as much content as possible. I'm going to be trying to get back online as much as possible because I've taken a very big break and I haven't really been active on social media, and I'm feeling like a bit of a hypocrite because I keep telling people to be portraying Christ online and I'm not really doing that. So join me on this journey of me rediscovering who I am and hopefully finding out who you guys are on the other side of the lens, because I really want to engage with everyone. Guys, if you want to talk to me, drop comments, DM me, do whatever, but I don't want to just be talking to a camera. I want to be talking to you, and I want you guys to know who I am, and most importantly, I really want to know who you guys are. Because even without seeing you or knowing you, I'm commanded to love you. It's that simple. You know, when Jesus says in the New Testament, in order to complete the law, and he says, no greater love is this than for another brother to lay down his life for another. That is the be all and end all of anything and everything. So for me, I'm commanded to love you, not to like you. So I can tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, I love all of you. The only reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to get to heaven and see heaven as an empty place. I want heaven to be filled with souls, because we've got a very short time on this planet to reach people. And it's not to reach people out of hate. I don't hate anyone. I love you. And that is why I'm being so brutally raw and honest with everyone when I'm going to be doing these videos, is because I want you guys to understand I'm not doing this because I want millions of followers. I don't care if one person subscribes to my channel. If that one person gets something out of this video and I see that person in heaven, all of this is worth it. So that's enough of me getting emotional. Let's switch this around and let's take you guys on a tour of exactly where I am and how I went from Redfern to Rondebosch. We'll see you guys on the other side of the lens. Right, so like I said, we've just switched cameras and we're now onto cell phone mode. And as you can see behind me, I was sitting in this chair over here just now. And this is awesome for me because you must understand, the last time I was here, all of this stuff was just a pipe dream. Guys were just sort of planning and we were thinking about how we could expand things. So I even get lost now that I'm back down at Livingston House in Park Road, Rondebosch, because, and I love getting lost here because it's so awesome. You can get lost here and just sit down and start grabbing a book off a shelf or doing something somewhere and you just get knowledge. I can just walk around this place and just soak everything in because there is such history. If you want to know where the church comes from, this is the place to come, because you don't need anyone to tell you. You can just walk around and you'll get a full history, right from the Reformation with Martin Luther nailing the 95 or 97 theses. Like I said, it's for me, I'm ADHD. I hardly ever remember facts properly. I need to go and check it out on paper in front of me. But when he nailed those theses to the Wittenberg church door, that is when the Reformation started, and the church really came out from underneath the Roman Catholic domination that was sort of suppressing the people and not allowing them to live out their faith the way they should as Christians. But that's not what I'm here for now. What I'm doing is I'm going to show you guys around. And this is the Pioneer Recording Studio on the very top floor. So I'm starting a little bit backwards, and then we're going to work our way down and try and show you everything. And then we will show you the outside. So let's see what is going on. I'm going to switch cameras around now, and you're not going to see my face anymore. We're just going to hear my voice. And yeah, let's see exactly what this place is and what it's all about. Right, so now I'm on the opposite end of the camera, and as you can see, this is just not just a recording studio, this is an absolute blessing for me. Being a podcaster and a content creation guy, this is almost like being in heaven. So this is the Pioneer recording studio, where we can do all of our audio recordings, podcasts, radio shows for Radio Tygerberg, for me doing all my content for Good News Community Radio up in Durban, and for my various channels. This is a lifesaver. So we've got all this done. We're not going to go open doors and look in cupboards and stuff for all the equipment, but let's take a walk around the facilities and see what's what. Right, so like I said, this is the very top floor, and this was all recently done. So I know that I'm taking you guys into the bathroom here, but I just want to show you guys around and let you guys see what we've got here. We've also got rooms upstairs. Ample accommodation. We also have some guys staying here, renting some rooms, which is awesome as well. Christian guys, young people who are just starting out, and also sharing their faith with people staying here. Now this here is what we call the upper room, and this is where the Reformation Society takes place every Thursday night, and I will be personally utilizing this room a lot more than what it's utilized at the moment. And because my thing is being a blessing to the younger people and exposing the younger people to the faith, I'm hoping to get a lot more young people in here and doing a lot more poetry nights and scripture readings and just getting together for coffee and stuff and just having a good time in the presence of the Lord. So as you can see, this is all about history. This is just the various foundations. Flaming Lily Foundation, Reformation 500 is all about the Reformation. This here is basically a museum of sorts where you can go through and see. I mean, for the young guys, the Gen Zs, you will not know what most of this equipment is because you've probably never seen it before. What's awesome about this is most of this stuff actually still works. And you can see this is all what has been used in the field over many generations of technology. You can see we've still got film reels here and the old film cameras, and this is sort of a lot of the stuff was used by Bill Bathman, who was a missionary to the communist bloc back in Eastern Europe back in the day, and a lot of the stuff was actually used on the mission field during his time. And like I said, most of it works. That tape recorder there was used by him, so very rich legacy here. And as you can see, with the founding members all coming from Zimbabwe, we've got a rich history of Rhodesia here as well. Guys, this is going to be a norm. While I'm walking around, you will see tons and tons of books. So if you are tired of looking at a screen and you want to come and just soak yourself in a few pages of, I mean, some of the literature you've got here you'll never find anywhere else. One of my favorite sections, obviously, because a lot of people don't know this about me, I love guns. Not that I'm into violence, but I love the whole aspect of training and being prepared. And this here for me is, man, if I could take some of this stuff out here and just play with it, I would. But as you can see, an extremely rich history of, I mean, it's just, there's so much here. So much here. All of the different tracts and the various newsletters and everything that has gone out over the years. I'm not going to tell you what this is. I'll leave that for you guys in the comments if you can actually tell me. Maybe some old school teachers, if you can see through the reflection of the grass, will be able to tell me what that is called and what it used to be used for. So let's move on. Before we take you down these stairs, let's see if I remember how to open this door and take you outside here for a second. Right, so this is one of the small balconies. This is on the 4th floor, and what you are seeing now is that there is Table Mountain in the background as we are in Rondebosch. The Red Cross Children's Hospital is just up the road there, and we are on the hospital grid, so there is no such thing as a load shedding down here, although we do have redundancies. But this is just looking out from this very, very small balcony across and out. And as you can see, the garden here is made for cats, and I can't wait to bring my two little kitties who grew up on the streets of Phoenix down here to basically retire in cat heaven. And hopefully we'll bump into some of my friends that I brought here last time, because I brought a few cats here from a local kennel, and they were suffering from kennel depression, and they are still here, and that was over 6 years ago, guys. So so we've just come from that section there. We're going to do a complete circle and come back up the stairs to where we started at the Pioneer Studios, but we're going to walk down. This is a new section for me, and I get lost in this place all the time now, because none of this was here before. This is all new renovations. So we are coming down now. Now this used to be nothing here, and it used to be the main balcony going out, and we used to take photos of the Great Commission course students on the steps here. So I'm not going to open the front door, but this is a new set of steps going upstairs, so the guys who come for meetings don't have to walk through the whole facility. They can just walk straight up the stairs and go upstairs. And this is basically walking through now to the reception area. It is a weekend. I'm doing this when it's nice and quiet. I haven't switched all the lights on, so it might be a bit of darkness. I'll just switch them on now. But through these doors, but we were talking to the guys from the Christian Liberty bookstore later on during the week in another video to highlight some of the ministry. This is just a reception area. As you can see, this is the office section, although, like I said, this place is dedicated to a Christian history. And if you want to know where the church comes from, this is the place you do it, because it's important to understand church history. And unfortunately, most Christians today have no clue where the church comes from. And unfortunately, if you don't know where you come from, you pretty much surely don't know where you're going. Literature everywhere, tracts everywhere, paintings of the great reformers. This is Martin Luther himself, the guy that I was talking about upstairs, who I might have got the facts wrong with the 95 Theses that were basically hammered to the Wittenberg church door. Here's another great reformer, Ulrich Zwingli. And as you can see, as we go down this hall, we can see there's just a whole lot of guys. This is John Wycliffe, John Hus. And as you can see, more literature. And hopefully we'll be able to speak about some of these guys: William Tyndale, John Calvin, John Knox. We can see here all the guys. There's William Carey. The guys from India will know William Carey very well, and I work with the Indian community up in Durban. My pastor, Pastor Aaron Munsami, is my pastor, and our church is based out in Verulam, KS Church. Go check out our Facebook page. And as you can see, all the guys here: Oliver Cromwell. Right through here is the boardroom and the Livingston House Library. We will take you in there for another video, because I can get lost in there for hours. So this is the main reception hall. So what we are going to do now is I'm just going to take you into this room quickly. So this is one of the lounge areas. There's the very awesome world map, and this section here takes you out into the garden, but we will do a walkabout outside from the main entrance, and we will show you guys the garden from there. But as you can see, not main library, but like I said, we have got enough books here. And obviously another bathroom facility. We've got plenty of those as well. And then before I go into the kitchen, this is another section that has been opened up. So this goes out onto the outside section again, and as you can see, more books, and more books. We are a little bit dark here, so we'll just walk through and I will explain to you more about this section as we go. But as you can see, this is basically just Bibles everywhere, all sorts of Bibles. and another bathroom facility. Now, before I take you to the kitchen, let's just do the full circle of the house here. So this way we have got, like I said, every single hallway is lined with books and literature and resources, and we are not in the dark ages. Through this door here is my domain. This is the what we call the comms room, or the IT department, and this is another balcony. As you can see, cat scratching post, but this is another balcony on top there. This is another one over here, and this basically, I'm just going to show you around the outside, and then we will talk about the outside. And that's leading up to the main gate. I was on a very small balcony right out in the front there, and now what we will do is we will take you guys back upstairs to the Pioneer recording studio where we started. And because I'm ADHD, I haven't finished the tour yet, but we will come back down and go through the kitchen to outside, and then we will show you guys what is down on the outside of the building. So this is the, let's hope you can hear me with the wind blowing. This is Cape Town, but this is the balcony that we were looking at from when I was down there, and now we're just a little bit higher. And like I said, for me, when I see all of this stuff, the first thing I think about is cat heaven. Because can you imagine the amount, I mean, we've got cats living on this property already, a lot of them, and yeah, it's very, very, very cool. So this is just sort of a very small upstairs kitchen area for the guys that are maybe renting and upstairs don't want to really be involved too much downstairs. But there we go, we've done the full roundabout back to the Pioneer Network Studio, and like I said, we were in the upper room earlier on. So let's put this into ×2 speed and get back down to the kitchen. Beautiful cheetah. Right, so now we are coming through to the kitchen area. Like I said, just so that you guys can get lost like I do, this was the main entrance hall that I walked down earlier on with all the paintings. But this is one of my favorite rooms because for those that know me, I love cooking. And this is the kitchen area with the breakfast area. Out that door is an outside eating area, but I will walk outside and go show you guys that because, man, I just love this place so much. This is the laundry area, recycling bins, washing up area and everything like that. But for me, beautiful gas stove, and you guys will be getting a lot of cooking videos from me from this facility. And as you can see, this is where we sometimes sit and have lunch if we don't want to go outside. Guys can sit and have breakfast. Like I said, this is actually the cats facility. Us humans as their servants just basically run the place for them. But now we're going to go outside, and I'm going to show you guys from the front entrance what is going on and walk you guys from the front gate through to the rest of the facilities. So we will check you guys there. Alright, so we are standing now on the main road just outside Livingston House. This is Park Road in Rondebosch, and behind me here is the Rondebosch Commons, where guys come and do their running, cycling, jogging, all the family stuff. And now what we are going to do is we are going to take you through this gate and show you exactly what's going on the outside of this facility at Livingston House. Right, so now that we're away from the noise of the traffic, back inside the grounds, and this is the main driveway. We will take you around this way first, but just to bring your attention, we do have two beehives on the property. You can see the beehive out there, and we get the guys to come in, the professionals, and we do get honey from these hives. So like we say here, this is Bee World, beware. Trespassers will be stung. We don't have guard dogs, we've got guard bees and guard cats. So this is, like I said, I was up on that little balcony earlier on, telling you guys about it, giving you guys the view out over the top there. Now I'm down at the bottom here in the garden. And this here is Edith. Edith is one of the cats that I brought here last time I was here. I went to one of the local kennels and I found her and her sister Mary suffering with severe kennel depression. And we brought them here and gave them a completely new home. Now, if I can find photos of what they looked like back in the day, they were dull, they were lying and just staring with blank eyes. They weren't even moving when I found them in the kennel, and they were extremely depressed. And they've been here for the last 6 years, since the last time I was down here. And unfortunately, Edith did not want to talk to me when I came back down, because she was very upset that I left them here for 6 years and she hadn't seen me. But as you can see, she has warmed up and recognized me as the guy that saved them, and she's very happy that I'm back, and she can't stop following me around now. So she's going to be in a few videos, but we've got a few other little feline friends hanging around this area. But this is basically the front yard. Beautiful trees, as you can see, and we've got a little, I don't want to call it a pet cemetery for those guys that have watched the Stephen King movie, but we bury any of the animals that die on the property. So there's across from one of the kitties that have passed. And as you can see, like I said, Edith, she is very fond of me now because she remembers who I am. So she'll be following me around while I do this video. My baby, you're so cute. Little reading chair, you can come and sit here. Like I said, this is a beautiful facility, and it's open to anyone who's a Christian and wants to come here and experience just time with the Lord. Beautiful rocking chair, come and sit and read. I don't want to focus on Edith too much, she is an absolute darling. She is just so beautiful. Yes, my baby. And they are literally in heaven. And the thing is, some of these cats we only see when they eat, because they've got so much space to mess around and play here that who would want to come and spend their time with humans unless you want to come and tell them something to do because you need something. Hey Edie, like right now, all she really wants from me is a bit of attention, and she can't understand why I'm ignoring her. We've just had sonar, the State of a Nation address, so we've got a couple of things flying overhead. You can see here's another beehive. I'm not too worried about being stung. I am not allergic to bees at all. I just try not to be stung because I don't want the bee to die. So like I said, you can see this is an amazing garden. I love this place too much. It is definitely my home away from home. And there's Edie again. But yes, when I say from Redfern to Rondebosch, that's exactly what it is. And I can stay anywhere. I don't care how fancy a place is or how run down a place is. Man, this cat is just too much. I love her so much. My two kitties will be coming down to join the rest of the pack down here in the next month or two. And I will be splitting my time between Durban and Cape Town. So I was inside the kitchen earlier and I said there's the door that I was going to take you guys out from. Oh, here's Mary. Hello, Mares. Now this is Edith's sister that I was telling you about. She's still a little bit wary, but she's slowly starting to remember me. But she was also suffering with severe kennel depression when we found them, and they were in such a state, these two babies, as you can see there, and as you can see there. But they are two best friends. And let me not forget my keys anywhere. So this is the outside area, and guys actually come and have church here. We've got a local Living Waters Fellowship that comes and has church. That's the pulpit. This door goes out to Literature for Africa, which is another non-profit organization that is on the property, and they do, I don't want to lie, but it's tons and tons of literature that gets sent out throughout South Africa and Africa, and we have a lot of guys that come through. Hello, Mares. How are you, my baby? So these guys are very quiet. They don't really come and spend too much time with the guys inside. But these were my two babies that came here that I found in the kennel suffering with severe kennel depression last time around, and as you can see, they are such darlings. The fact that they're 6 years here and they should be old by now, but if you look at them, does this look old to you? No, I don't think so. But I love these guys to bits, and I'm so happy that they're still here. Not like they wouldn't be here, because if you're a cat, why would you want to be anywhere else with the amount of humans that are here that are basically there just to serve the kitty's needs, and to have a property like this just to mess around with endless exploring opportunities. I mean, just inside the house alone, these cats can get lost. So for me to bring my two kitties, who are feral cats from Phoenix in Durban, gangsters from the street, to come and retire here, for me is it's like basically bringing a person to heaven, saving a soul. So like I said, inside we were in the stairs going upstairs from reception. This is the outside now. I was walking past this window earlier on the inside, taking you guys through the main hallway, and this is just me walking down now from the outside of the building. As you can see, Edith has definitely realized that I'm the guy that was here 6 years ago, because cats never forget. They just sometimes, if you leave them, they will take a while before they warm up to you again, because they are a little bit upset. So this balcony, this here used to be open, and they closed up the outside of this here. I was on top of that balcony earlier on. Like I said, we've just had the State of the Nation address, and you can hear all the helicopters flying overhead in the last couple of days. But one of the trailers that are used to go on missions, I was on these two balconies earlier on. Now I will be doing separate videos on Literature for Africa when they are open during the week. Like I said, this is a Saturday. I wanted to do this video without any staff being around. But this is just some of the pallets of literature that we send out. We get literature from World Missionary Press, and we have an organization in America that sends us container shipments, 10 tons at a time every 2 months. The next one is coming up in the next month or two. I think it's in April. So we will show you guys what happens when the container arrives. But I'm not going to take you the normal way. Let's just get lost for a little bit here, and let me take you down the unbeaten path, or the less trodden path. So we are walking now. Literature for Africa is this way, inside behind this whatever you call this, chroma deck. This is the back section. We're trying to get a compost heap going here, and obviously various other things going on. There's our Jojo tanks on the other end there. As you can see, Edie is still following me around, and I mustn't walk into a brick and hit my head like I just did. But let's hope we run into some of the other cats. I do believe that 2 of the other cats are sleeping in the dorm room where I am at the moment, which I'm going to be fixing up into a little outside flat. The only reason I chose that accommodation and not some of the better accommodation inside is because I want my cats to feel comfortable when they come down, and for them to have an outside area that they can walk into is great. But let's just go through to the pool area now. And here we have the pool, and I was around the back there earlier on. And like I said, Edith is now very happy that I'm back, and she is following me around constantly. I think she just wants to be in the video, so we'll give her props and say, no problem, Edie, we will make sure that you're the star of the show here. But guys, this is not about recreation or comfort. This is a launch pad basically to do cross-border missions, local missions, supporting all the communities. I mean, Literature for Africa provides all the free tracts and literature that most of the street preachers in Cape Town use and the evangelists use, as well as the local churches to have out on their tables on a Sunday. Hopefully we will be introducing you to Frank a little bit later. He's going to be doing some gardening, and he's got a few projects that he might want to talk to you about. Not the Literature for Africa projects, but just little things that he's doing around the property. So this is basically the area by the pool. We've got a little section where we can hang up our washing and stuff, and here we have the obviously pool pumps, outside toilets and changing rooms for the pool, and then all the areas that people don't normally see I'm going to show you, because I'm a gym nut, and last time I was down here I left a whole lot of my gym equipment here for the guys to use. as you can see. Not many people are into exercise over here, or not the kind of weight training exercise that I like doing anyway. So what I'm going to be doing is because most people might say, Vaughan, you can throw this away, but you must understand, this is just surface rust. I will be cleaning all of this stuff up, and we'll probably be sending it out to the mission out in Morrison in Malmesbury on the farm for the boys to use. As most of you know, that exercise is one of the best things to do if you're a drug addict and you're addicted to sugars or you're addicted to heroin. Good exercise, especially weight training, releases all the right serotonin and endorphins in your brain to help you to come off the drugs naturally without any sort of methadone treatment and stuff like that. Because as much as we deal with the heart and the mind with drug addicts, you've also got to remember that these guys, especially if they're addicted to heroin, it's a physical addiction, and that has to be treated completely different. Right, so here we've got another one of our little babies, Esme. She's been coming into my room and sleeping quite a lot with me in my bed, and she's quite a feisty little lady. She likes to go and smack a couple of the other cats around. I don't know where Nate and Elizabeth is. They're a brother and sister pair, two dark grey and black kitties. But if we find them, we will definitely put them onto camera. That's basically it from me today, because I just wanted to give you guys, and sorry, I'm just bending down and touching one of the kitties again. I just wanted to give you guys an introduction to where I'm starting off with 2024 and what I'm going to be doing. So if you guys want to keep up to date with everything that's going on, both in Cape Town with Cares Foundation and Durban with Cares Foundation, both in Cape Town and Durban with myself, Vaughan, aka the Cyber Hitchhiker. You can check out my YouTube channel. And we will be letting you guys know about the various podcasts that we're going to be doing and the content we're going to be creating for everyone. But this is basically just me saying welcome to my life, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride as much as I am going to. And awesome punching bag in the back here. Unfortunately my hands are broken, but I like to use an elbow every now and again if the need arises. But we'll leave the self-defense training videos for another day, another side of me that people don't really get to see, but I'm hopefully going to show you guys a bit of that while I'm down here. So from me, the Cyber Hitchhiker, stay tuned, subscribe, like, share, but most important, drop a comment. Let's engage, let's talk. I'll be giving you guys all my contact details. I really want people to reach out and touch and stay in touch with me. So from Vaughan, the Cyber Hitchhiker, the guy with ADHD and everything in between, we will catch you guys on the flip side. Just one final bit of video. You'll see Elizabeth a lot. She's a very weird little cat, and she does really crazy things. I'll show you some of her drinking out of the kitchen tap. She likes filtered water, so she likes to drink out of the filtered water tap. As you know, cats are a different breed, but they are absolutely beautiful. So yes, this is definitely me saying goodbye for the final time, and also Elizabeth saying goodbye. We'll see you guys soon.